You guys might have seen this creator LARPing as the deceased YouTuber Technoblade. As someone who's a pretty big fan of Technoblade back in the day, I was always relatively uncomfortable with this concept, but it's only gotten a lot worse, as you'll see right now. Let's just jump right into it. New video by WestJet, who is honestly my only input into the world of social and all the crazy stuff that goes on, but let's just see what's going on. And subscribe if you're new.
Massive day for the unemployed. The Technoblade LARPing situation is genuinely insane. Even his dad chimed in. Don't know what Unk is waffling about? Basically, there's a trend where people would LARP as their favorite YouTuber.
So I actually saw this first on Instagram. I saw this with like the Leave He Is Here LARP, which I actually thought was pretty funny. I mean, I watched a lot of YouTube back in 2016, that kind of era. And I think that there were others. So there's like LARP dubs and LARP apply. Like most of these are pretty funny. They're pretty harmless. It is pretty whatever. The only thing that got a little weird here is that obviously Technoblade is deceased. He died a couple years ago. It was incredibly sad, completely rocked the YouTube community. It was even something where, man, I felt weird. Like, I remember I felt weird for days because it was something where over COVID, like, I would play so many of his videos. Like, I would have, a couple other YouTubers on too, but I felt like it was almost like I got a parasocial relationship where I heard him speak for so long, and then to hear that he died out of nowhere was just, it was really shocking. And I'm sure it was significantly harder for the people who knew him, and especially his dad, who's still very public online. So when I saw this pop up, I watched a couple seconds of a few videos, and it was uncannily accurate, which I think is part of what made this weird. Like the other LARP things, it's like whatever. It's a kind of a funny whatever. Like you can have your issues with that. This one from day one, I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this.
This guy started doing Technoblade with a channel called Technolarp, and a lot of people didn't like this because, controversial. Technoblade passed away.
Is he some kind of king?
No. That's a legend.
This was one of the most go-to music. Like, when I saw the Minecraft movie, I saw it with my college friends. No one there was like, everyone there was like an old person. Well, not like an old person, I guess. 23, when you're on the internet, you feel like an old person when you're 23. But it was actually, the movie was terrible, but I loved it. It was one of those experiences where the movie was clearly not good, like plot-wise, but it was awesome, and I would see it again, right? But I wouldn't recommend anyone to see it if they weren't like a big Minecraft fan. But when that moment appeared, like I knew it was coming, it was just like super nice. Like, I'm really glad they added that in. It was just a small, quick cameo, just because Technoblade really was like, if you were at a core, like if you really watched Minecraft, you really loved it, and you were in the community, he was just such a major component of it. That was just like such a nice thing to see in the movie.
No, Technoblade passed away 4 years ago. Technoblade's dad has asked YouTuber Technolarp to please stop LARPing as his son. After being temporarily banned for impersonation, he said he will return to his original persona, Striker. And a lot of people didn't like this Technolarp character because he was essentially saying that the play must go on, and he would only listen to Technoblade's dad regarding the deletion or rebranding of his channel. A lot of people with empathy were calling him out for being an asshole, and the argument was essentially that Technoblade himself, if he was alive today, wouldn't care about this because he had a great sense of humor.
So YouTube has a current infestation of LARP YouTubers.
I can't believe that's a real sentence. Basically, it all started with a guy named LARPaplier who made videos in the style of old Markiplier.
Hello, everybody. My name is LARPaplier.
Yo, that's the dude from Chocolate, right?
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier.
But then people caught on and started LARPing as the OG versions of their favorite YouTubers.
And I think LARPing as a guy who passed away from cancer might be a little too soon, dare I say.
Perusing a little bit, I feel like the guy's probably approaching it with good intentions, but I still find it to just be off-putting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like, it didn't seem, especially in the beginning, that this was done with malice or done with kind of like intent that like wasn't maybe in the right place. However, it's one of those things where you might not have malice going into something, but it doesn't mean that it isn't going to be, damaging to people, right? And I really didn't like when I saw it on my Twitter timeline that he was like, I'm only going to respond if Technoblade's dad comments on this, because then you're forcing like the dad to engage, where this is so difficult, where it's like, the death of his son, like whenever you're a parent, like shout out to my grandparents on my dad's side. They lost both of their sons, my dad and my uncle, and they survived past both of them. It is just like, it is the worst experience to, you know, precede your kid. It's like, it's really hard when a parent dies. Like my dad died like a year and a half ago, so like I feel that. But at least in that moment, I felt like it was the natural order of things. It's just, it's just next level sick and twisted when your child dies. So it's just so challenging. And I understand that, like, and I even watched like little bits of like the Skeppy video. And it just, because Skeppy and like, you know, Technoblade would make these videos together. It was just sad, man. It was like you could feel that, like, for moments, like Skeppy felt glimpses of his old friend. Really hard. But to say like, no, the dad is the only one who can make a decision on this, I'm like, you're forcing him to answer. You're forcing him to see this almost fake recreation of his son. And I don't necessarily think it was with bad intent, but it was executed really poor. Like, it just, you should have gotten a second opinion on this, because I think most people would have been like, yo, chill out, bro. we got to take a little pause going on here. Like, 1 second, please.
For example, he's playing with Technoblade's friend Skeppy in a video, like, so he's actively trying to collab.
Personally, I think that says more about Skeppy's character than anything.
Like, that's some, like, Skinwalker type like, that just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
And before Technodad told him to stop, he was put in this uncomfortable position. He was like, I just don't know how to react to this. What am I supposed to do? Technodad's final answer to it all in summary was to stop the Technoblade persona. There will be a video out soon showing everyone what will happen to this channel. We should all respect his answers, because I sure do, and honestly, I'm relieved. And again, this striker fella got a lot of hate for this, so it's very commendable that he actually, you know, is coming from the right place and taking into account what Technoblade's dad had to say. He uploaded a video talking about the end of Technolarp, saying he's going back to his old persona.
So it's finally happened. Technodad gave the response. As you can see, I'm in my normal skin with my normal name, and I'll explain why.
Skeppy, big time weirdo though, I stand by that.
Skeppy collab.
There's only one game mode we can play right now. Do you know what that game mode is?
It better not be sumo.
It's not.
Like, it's just such a weird feeling, because like, it's been a while since I rewatched a Technoblade video. I actually like couldn't watch them for a while afterwards because it felt uncomfortable, and I watched one or two after. But also I just like don't watch Minecraft videos anymore. Like, I'm older, run a business, do other social stuff, but like, it's not something I watched in a while. But I remember the Skeppy Technoblade collabs, dude. And just even this small clip of this video is like bringing me, like, it's almost like uncanny, where it has that feeling of like, it, for moments when I'm watching this, I kind of forget that I'm watching Technolarp and Skeppy, not just a Technoblade and Skeppy video from back in the day. Like, it's really accurate. And then it's like those moments where you forget, you quickly remember, and this is kind of this weird, uncanny feeling that this kind of makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I can only like, and the thing too, I understand that, like, probably, like, honestly, I bet Technoblade in theory would have been like, this is funny, this is cool. He had that kind of personality. But it's more so now you got to think about the other people in the community that were close to him, how they'd be affected. And obviously, the Technoblade's dad's like, yo, you got to stop this. You got to stop that immediately. So I'm glad he's stopping that. If he ignored the wishes of Technoblade's dad, then this would be a obvious, like this would be an obvious, like, he's in the wrong. That would have been super clear. So at least that's cool. At least he did that at a minimum.
Okay. People say I sound like Technoblade, but this guy kind of does, you know what I mean?
And he doesn't use a gold crown, he does silver to show that he's not, you know, Technoblade's level. He's just the guy imitating him.
The guy pretty much did everything right, other than the fact that he didn't ask Technoblade's dad for permission initially, which, you know, put him in an uncomfortable situation.
And another thing I've seen is people saying that Technoblade himself would find it entertaining and would give his blessing. And maybe, but you don't know that. Nobody knows that.
I mean, he do bring up a good point, you know? The biggest issue, I feel, is the spot he put Mr. Technodad in.
Technoblade's dad is weird for this. Dad, what is wrong with you? You are literally speaking upon the dad who is speaking upon his dead son.
Technoblade would love this, all in his mind.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I think, in theory, Technoblade would have loved this. But as Critical said, dude, in theory, we don't. It's a prediction. It's like saying, would Julius Caesar like this sculpture? Dude, I don't know. Probably if you make it look tough, but like you just don't know. And then, yeah, this video is kind of like that clip. From what I got from it, he's like, how can his dad speak on? Dude, of course his dad can speak on this. He would have loved it, dude. How do you know? I think he probably would have, but that is the sentence probably would have, and does, completely different realms. These are in completely different universes, dude. Like this is just like this is the worst video of all. Not this video I'm reacting to, but that clip. I'm like, bro, and you said L dad. I think it's probably rage bait. I think it's probably trolling. Sometimes I say things are rage bait and trolling to make me give myself a little bit like, okay, there is some hope in this world. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, it's trolling when, buddy, it's not trolling, but let's keep going.
Bro.
It looks like the Technolarp situation is finally over. You can rest easy now, soldiers, because TechnoDad posted a statement on Reddit saying, a message concerning Technoblade. I encourage anyone interested in becoming a content creator to find their own voice. Show us who you are. A sincere presentation of your authentic self will always be better than an imitation of someone else.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this LARP trend will die almost as fast as it started.
Technolarp is perfectly fine, and if you have a problem with it, you have no life and you're a sad loser. Only possible way this could even be kind of up from the guy is if he was just doing it to take money.
So I'm confused. The guy says he's in process of deciding his charity earnings, but Moist Critical says otherwise.
Well, that's a half-truth. The charity money is generated through the streams that he does. So he has a charity donation link at the Tiltify, and then right under that, he has a personal donation link where you can donate to Technolarper himself. And then at the very bottom, he even has a sponsored section. Server hosting by Prism nodes. Use code LARP at checkout for 30% off on any purchase. That feels like a deliverable for a sponsorship. He has his own code, LARP. That's affiliate marketing. So you're taking sponsors as Technolarp. So you are financially benefiting from it.
Yes, life's a sandwich. No matter the way you flip it, the bread comes first. Y'all actually enjoyed watching someone imitating a dead person? Yikes. Stop the cap. Technoblade never dies. Everyone deciding what to think after Charlie speaks. True.
Is that I'm conflicted. I am going to have to sit my asshole right on top of that fence and say that I can't really pick a side because I am heavily conflicted.
Prior to Technoblade's dad speaking, I was also conflicted. I think the other LARP channels were funny. I saw them like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, unless that's way too... I might have my memory wrong on like the timeline. But I thought they were pretty funny. But also the thing is, too, they're going to come, they're going to go super fast. Like, it's a funny flash in the pan for, like, the Markiplier one, the Leafy one, like, the iDubbbz one, the how-to basic one. It's, like, it's a quick kind of gimmick that will get a lot of attention for people like me who's like, it's the 2016 era, that's super fun. This one, I was always like, oh, I don't know about this one. Just because, like, beloved character dies of cancer and then you're kind of because if it was really done as, like, a one-off video that was, like, this is done in memorial, this is done in celebration. If it was clear cut like that, it would be a little bit more okay. I would still for me, I would just steer away from it. I would just be careful. But after Technoblade's dad spoke, it's like, the decision's made. Like, the decision is made on this. I was a little bit on the fence, leaning towards don't do it. Now it's like, the decision's made for me, bro. Like, it's made. We're done. We're okay. We have our answer.
A lot of nuance that goes into a conversation like this, because there are good sides and questionable sides to the whole LARPing as a dead YouTuber thing. On the one hand, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. The guy is just trying to do this to honor Technoblade's passing. He donates his money to charity. He's not doing anything outwardly malicious or heinous with the platform that he has.
And again, the guy genuinely seems pretty honorable. He's respecting the dad's wishes, and like, what more could you ask for? He's a villain, not a monster. When it comes to a lot of situations, fence sitting is a completely normal thing to do.
That's crass.
And congrats to Ludwig for getting engaged. Huge. Anyway, Technolarp's channel was temporarily banned from YouTube, which I think was due to mass reporting, which, makes sense. And here was his response. Let's hear from the horse's mouth himself.
So the answer was to stop the Technoblade persona or anything similar to it. Now, I can't really change how I sound, like my voice.
Yeah, like this guy, actually, I think one of the craziest things is how similar this guy sounds to him. And I'd be really curious to see if he's always sounded like this, or he drummed it up for like the Technoblade impression, and now he's like still a little bit of an impression, taking a bit of inspiration. But I could also just totally see like this is his voice. I think people are gonna have a problem with him for a while, just because if his voice truly sounds like this, they're gonna be like, "Yo, you're still LARPing." When I feel bad, dude, if it's actually his voice, what is he gonna do about that? But then also it's like you made the Technolarp channel, so you're putting that framing on you. If someone just like comes up to you and say, "Hey, you sound like this YouTuber," it's not gonna be a problem. But yeah, I think he's gonna be stuck in this box for a while, if I'm being honest.
Because like it's my normal voice, but I can definitely take off the skin. I can change the name. The name of this channel is Technolarp at the moment, but I don't know, maybe like tomorrow I'm gonna change it. I am taking the Technolarp viewers and turning it into my personal gain, which I believe that to be wrong. So I wanted to say that if you guys are only here for the Technoblade persona, like the Technoblade stuff, I highly advise that you unsubscribe.
I think people just wanted a reason to be mad, and you know, the internet does run on negativity. You can look at my channel. I feel like this whole situation would be a lot different if he ignored the wishes of Technodad and kept the channel fully monetized in order to gain from it.
Yeah, I think this would be really simple. If he ignored, like if you just ignored Technodad, then it'd be clearly wrong. I think this is one of those things where I don't think he went in with malice. I think it was a little distasteful. I think it was done with good intent, but I think because of the situation, there's almost no way to do it without it being a tad distasteful. And it's in a situation now where as soon as, I would just say, unwind from this persona as long as possible, like as soon as you can, go back to the original content you want to do. You're gonna see a massive drop, but you might have a little bit of an audience, right? And then if you can make something cool and interesting and go from there, then you can make something, but I would say, dude, you gotta end the persona ASAP. And subscribe if you're new, click on one of these videos, and peace.